So Nintendo just had one of their directs, and I need to talk about it because there was a good amount of JRPG coverage. And of course, me being a very JRPG centric channel, I need to cover it to some extent. Now the JRPGs I'm talking about here are the ones that I want to talk about. So no, I'm not really going to mention Final Fantasy IX and Final Fantasy VII, although I'm still wondering why they skipped over Final Fantasy VIII. Something to do with they don't have the original files and they physically can't do it anymore. Listen, I don't know, it's still a travesty either way. Anyway, let's talk about this Nintendo Direct and the JRPGs that was shown off. And yes, I am going to talk about Astral Chain. Let's jam. So the first thing I want to talk about here is Fire Emblem Three Houses. We got more information on Fire Emblem Three Houses and it's releasing on July 26th. And already one of my biggest fears about the game were put to bed because somewhere in the dark recesses of my twisted subconscious, I was worried that there was going to be 3 versions of the game, each representing the 3 houses. Thankfully, that's not the case at all. So one of the things that struck a chord with me with this Fire Emblem game is that the main character is going to be a teacher or a professor or a sensei. Anyway, the game's main base of operations is set in an academy, which I guess would be the natural progression for the Fire Emblem games at this point, since they kind of went on the anime side. But I guess you could argue that Fire Emblem was always anime. Anyway, you'll be leading your students into battles. Some of the battles will be assignments for the academy, and then of course you'll have your life-threatening missions. You'll be able to customize your students to fit your playstyle. Now the game looks pretty good. I like the idea of having an academy setting. Like I said, I feel like this is the natural progression for the setting of the series. But then again, what the hell do I know? I only started with Fire Emblem Awakening. Don't at me. Three Houses is definitely a day one pickup. I like the setting, I like the art style, the interface. The gameplay is of course going to be classic Fire Emblem with a new twist on it. You know, you'll be able to see your armies attacking with your main units on screen. And the graphics, aren't, in my opinion, anything to write home about. They have a nice cel shaded look. I just hope the frame rate keeps up when things start to go a little bit crazy on screen. But from what I saw, again, Fire Emblem Three Houses is a day one pickup in the summer. So the next game I want to talk about is Dragon Quest XI S Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition. Jeez, that was kind of a lot. Anyway, so we all knew that Dragon Quest XI was coming to the Switch, but I for one had no idea it was going to be the definitive version of the game, and it looks like I'm gonna have to double dip on this one. I have it on PC and I'm going to have to buy it again on Switch, solely for the reason that it's going to allow you to switch between the awesome 3D graphics and the classic 2D retro style. In Japan, the 3DS version allowed you to use the retro style, but since the 3DS is pretty much dying off overseas, Square Enix deemed it unnecessary to release the 3DS version outside of Japan. But now with Dragon Quest XI Definitive Edition on the Switch, it will allow us in the West to experience Dragon Quest XI in that classic, tasty, crispy retro style. This just blew me away. I did not see this coming. I'll be honest, I completely forgot about the retro look, so I'm thinking I'm going to have to play the entire game over again in retro. It's gonna be a hell of a lot of fun. Also, we got word that the game will come with the option to switch between the orchestrated music and the original music. If you don't know, when Dragon Quest XI was released, it came with the MIDI sound files, and the music just didn't sound too good. And you had the orchestrated soundtrack separate to buy as a music CD, you know, something you can get on Amazon. And that wasn't in the release with the PS4 and PC version, but now they're adding it to Dragon Quest XI. Not really a big deal for me personally, because I got Dragon Quest XI on PC and there was a mod that you could use to switch the soundtrack to its orchestrated soundtrack. But it's really nice that they addressed the issue with Dragon Quest XI, because the game did not deserve that type of treatment when it came to its music. We will also be getting extended character stories, which I'm guessing is more side related content to the characters, a turbo mode that will speed things up, and last but not least, for you Japanese purists out there, we will be able to switch between English and Japanese audio. So really, at this point, you don't have a reason not to play Dragon Quest XI. The game is great. It's a great classic turn-based JRPG, and there's nothing else for it. Go play it. The next game I want to talk about is a brand new RPG called Opunake, made by Square Enix and Tokyo RPG Factory, and it's coming to the Switch, the PS4, and Steam in the summer of 2019. The game has a very nice graphical style that I can get behind, and since it's made by Tokyo RPG Factory, it has a similar gameplay setup to I Am Setsuna. Now, I only played I Am Setsuna for a short period of time myself, but from what I played, it was actually pretty good, so this game has my curiosity. The gameplay looks solid. The main character looks like he can switch between different weapons, which will in turn change up his playstyle. I saw in the trailer, and please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw swords, axes, some type of spear slash lance, and some gun wielding, so that should be an interesting mechanic. Maybe it will be some sort of weakness system to some enemies. The game ultimately looks good, just not sure if it's going to be a day one pickup for me. I'll have to wait and see what a couple of my fellow YouTubers and streamers think to see if I'm going to pick this one up at all. Next up, I'm going to talk about Rune Factory 4. This direct also gave us the return of Rune Factory with Rune Factory 4, and it's a remaster releasing on the Switch. I gotta be honest with you guys, I never dabbled in Rune Factory games. I remember playing a Rune Factory game on PS3 and I was just like, this ain't it, chief, and I traded it in. This one doesn't look so bad. I really do like the art style, but for me personally, this is gonna be a skip. I'm sorry to say, it's just not my cup of tea. If you are interested in Rune Factory, let me know. I really want to see just how many Rune Factory fans are out there. They also announced that Rune Factory 5 is in the works, so this game could be the game that gets me in the Rune Factory. I don't know. I would have to see something first. Again, I want to know if you personally are excited for this, and tell me your experience with the Rune Factory games. Now, the last game I want to talk about may not be a JRPG, but I gotta talk about it anyway, and that game is Astral Chain. Oh my god, this game looks like hot fire! I honestly thought it was Xenoblade X2, but no, it wasn't, and I wasn't even mad about that. I was just like, I don't care, just show me more. What is this game? I was a little bit worried in the beginning of the trailer because I was thinking, okay, the character models look good, the setting looks awesome, what's the gameplay like? I was thinking, is it gonna be some type of bullet hell or some type of side-scrolling action game? But no, this is a full-fledged action game created by Platinum Games. And guys, I can say to you with full confidence, this is a day one pickup, no questions asked. Like, I don't even need to see any more gameplay or trailers. I know I'm getting this when it drops. Everything looks great to me. The character designs, the combat, the story seems intriguing, maybe a little bit on the anime side, but that's not a bad thing. You know, it seems a little bit typical, but you know, I could be wrong. And it looks like you'll be able to freely roam throughout the city looking for story events, I'm guessing quests, and maybe looking for a variety of items throughout the city. I'm not sure. I'm not a full analysis type guy. I leave that to the professionals. I just know I like what I see, and I'm definitely gonna pick this one up on August 30th when it drops. So that's pretty much all the JRPGs I want to talk about in this Nintendo Direct. I was a little bit let down. Some of the JRPGs that I wanted to appear didn't show up. I thought a port of Xenoblade Chronicles X was gonna appear. A port of Tokyo Mirage Sessions would have been awesome. I mean, I would have loved to see something on Shin Megami Tensei 5. Where the hell is that game at right now? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Were there any other JRPGs that you felt deserved more attention here? Remember to smash that like button and subscribe, of course, if you are new to the channel, but I can't stress enough with the hitting of the like button because it really helps out my channel. I will see you guys next time. Peace.